Welcome back to Be a Better Baddie. My name is Quenisha, and I am your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. And we are talking about gratitude today. We are continuing our series, and today we are talking about gratitude for our past selves. So, I think the first activity for this episode is I want you to give your past self a shout out. And I mean, every single version of your past self, child version of you, teenager, young adult, last year, yesterday. Shout out your past self for being brave, for dreaming, for putting in the work that got you to where you are today, for making dumb mistakes, for pushing boundaries, for helping you establish your values, and most importantly, giving you funny stories to tell now. Shout out to her, right? There's no reason for you to regret the past because you cannot change it. You cannot change the past. So the only thing you can do is take the past and turn it into lessons. So today we're going to continue our gratitude series and dive deeper into being grateful for your past self. Last week we talked about the general benefits of being grateful and just showing gratitude to others. Showing gratitude to yourself has the added benefit of increasing your self awareness and the amount of clarity, authenticity, and connectedness that you feel in your life. So, the way this episode is structured is kind of like I think it's going to be like more of the steps you need to take before you can actually show gratitude to your past self. So, let's start with what you need to do to actually be grateful for your past self. So, the first step in showing gratitude for your past self is acknowledging your past. Start acknowledging that it actually happened and not run away from it. It made you who you are, so there's no reason to run from it. I mean, and of course, unless it was like something super traumatic and acknowledging that triggers you a lot. I am not a mental health professional. I'm just a girl who loves personal development and things of this sort. So, if this is not the right step for you, by all means, do not take it. So some of us don't want to necessarily acknowledge the events that happened in the past because they probably weren't as favorable or they wouldn't paint us in a good light. But all of those good, bad, ugly, regular, fun things need to be acknowledged because they are part of you, right? Like imagine if the United States didn't want to acknowledge that slavery happened. LOL. It would seem like you're trying to cover up a piece of your history or something. And that history is a big part of who the United States is, who as if it's a person. So acknowledge your past. I think that nothing else can happen if you don't even say, hey, I did do that. Okay. After acknowledgement comes understanding the lessons and the pearls of wisdom from that period in your life. And that leads us to the second part. So now you're moving into understanding the lessons and the wisdoms. Most of those occurrences had some sort of lesson, and we're not aware of the lesson until we've developed the hindsight and the wisdom to pull the lesson from that situation. So the things I did when I was 22, of course, made complete 100% sense to my 22-year-old brain. Now, when I look back at these situations with my 31-year-old brain, I think, wow, that was stupid. Why did you do that? And then I say, well, you did it and now you know not to do it. Or you did it and now you know a better way to do it. Right? Now I can pull the lessons out and make meaning of the situation. At that exact moment, no, I couldn't. And I will say sometimes the lesson is just don't do it again. Everything isn't deep or serious. Sometimes the lesson is literally don't do that again. It's dumb. That's it. So acknowledge that it happened, reflect, and do separate the two. Some of them are not meant for deep lessons, some of them are for those deep lessons. Now, if you still regret something from your past, there's no way you'd be able to pick out the lesson because you're worrying that you didn't make the right decision or that you could have done something better or that you could have said something or you could have walked away earlier or that you just anyway could have changed the past to make the present what you want it to be now. So I think regret is most relevant when you're not satisfied with your life. When you feel like something is missing from my life and it's because of that one thing I didn't do 20 years ago that is when you are consumed with regret and you're still thinking about how you possibly could have a more idyllic life if you made that different choice. And you think that because you think that perfection is a thing. You think that the ideal life is a thing. And newsflash, it isn't. So, not to dive too deeply into regrets, because I want to wrap up my thoughts on this topic. So, if you feel like you're stuck on expressing gratitude for your past self because you felt like she made the wrong decision and that's why your life isn't where you want it to be, stop it. Your life isn't what you want it to be. And this is going to sound a little harsh, but your life isn't what you want it to be because you aren't taking the steps now with your present self, with your current knowledge and your current mindset to make the changes that you want to see. Trying to get to the root of your regret is really going to help you resolve these thoughts and then express gratitude for the girl who was doing the best that she could at that time. Number 3 is to celebrate your milestones. So many times I didn't see the value in the things that I accomplished because I felt like they were normal or I already expected it from myself. So unlearning that you are not a big deal is huge because by the time you realize how great you are, so much time has passed. I look back at the things that I've done and I'm like, wait, you were only this age when you did this? This is huge. But at that moment, I didn't think it was a big deal. So take a look back and not only acknowledge your mistakes because it's so easy for us to pick out all the bad we did and the lesson we learned and how it could be better. You did a lot of things right too, right? Looking back and being grateful for your past self isn't just about picking out all the wrong that your past self did. Acknowledge all the good things she did, acknowledge all the smart decisions she made. And this is building up your confidence because you're reflecting on the goals that you set in the past and the goals that you've achieved and all the hard work you invested in your life. So that is all a part of kind of building yourself up to be grateful for your past self. So the three things that I just named are kind of like the pre-work you have to do before you actually get to the expression of gratitude for your past self. So just to resum those. So just to resummarize those. 1, acknowledge your past. 2, understand the lessons and wisdom. And then 3, celebrate your milestones. Now we're going to talk about the actual practical things you can do to practice gratitude towards your past self. So, after you've processed everything that we just discussed, now you can get into the actual expression of gratitude. So, here are the practical exercises for you to reflect on your past achievements and acknowledge your personal evolution. Number 1 is to keep a journal. Keep a journal so that you can, in 5 years, look back and say, wow, I thought that before. Shout out to her. Shout out to you for documenting your thoughts. Shout out to you for documenting your process. So keep a journal. It's really good to just read back and appreciate your journey. I look back at my old journals and I noticed a change in even the way I use my journal. So before my journal was me recounting events that happened, very simple reactions that I had. Now I think my journal is more so me processing my thoughts about the situation. It's no longer this happened, it's this happened. I think that this happened because of this. Maybe I should do this. And really me just doing what I think I would do in therapy. Secondly, I love visual representations of your journey. So something like a timeline or a vision board to highlight your achievements, your personal development and aspirations is great. Like I look back at all my old vision boards that I've made. Really love when Google Photos does like those little flashbacks. So you can like visually see your progress to reinforce that acknowledgement of your growth. So seeing this nice little collage from 2013, it really pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? A million words. I think they're worth a million words, but they're worth a lot, right? You look at the picture, you know the story of who you were when that picture was taken, and you think to who you are now. So you're being grateful for the person in that picture. The last thing that you can do to appreciate your past self or be grateful for your past self is to set regular review periods. So I like to designate specific periods throughout the year to review and reflect on my personal growth. And this could be with me when I set goals. I'll take a look at what progress I've made towards those goals or what I still need to do. And you can do this monthly, quarterly, yearly, anytime you can regularly assess where you were, where you are now, and the progress you made. So that's that on that. I want to end with a bit of an entry point assignment. So, a good way to take all this information and wrap it up into one is to write a letter to your past self. Think of the version of yourself that you think was the most confused and write to her. So, I've done this and I can guarantee you that all of your subconscious thoughts and questions will be answered. So, as you're going through this, just start with Dear Past Self and just kind of let it flow from there. I also have a special announcement. So, you all are going to be the first to hear about this because I'm in the very early planning phases, but I am ready to announce it. So, I'll be launching the Baddie Circle in December, and I'm inviting all of you to join this transformative journey of personal growth and empowerment. So, what is the Baddie Circle? The Baddie Circle is going to be a sisterhood of support, a safe space where your goals, dreams, and ambitions matter. The Baddie Circle will span over 8 weeks and we'll be diving into personal growth, empowerment, and setting goals that truly will make you a better baddie. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And guess what? The Baddie Circle is completely free because I want to make this personal development opportunity accessible to everyone. So if you're ready to really put in the work and be a part of this opportunity, click the link in the show notes to sign up and receive more information about the Baddie Circle. So I hope that you all had a positively productive, self-loving day and be grateful for your past self. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. You can let me know by rating and reviewing, sharing it with a friend, posting it on your Instagram story. And I will see you all in the next one. Hopefully I see you all in the Baddie Circle. Bye.